Cybercrime is an issue that can never be overflogged due to its peculiarity in our lives. It is an issue that needs serious tackling, and as we always say, the anti-corruption agencies can't do it alone. We need all hands on deck to fight this and other financial crimes. On The Eagle today, we will be bringing you a chit-chat we had with a Nigerian celebrity, Atunyota Alleluia Apobome, also known as Alibaba, who is lending his voice in the fight against cybercrime and other societal menace. We will also bring you the usual activities that took place within the EFCC. Welcome to another episode of The Eagle. My name is Aisha Mohammed.
Imagine a society where everything works. Durable road networks, stable electricity supply, portable water, well-equipped and functional healthcare facilities, quality education for all, affordable housing schemes, social security benefits, job creation, and a lot more that makes life comfortable to live. That is an ideal society. We can only achieve these if we all play our part. Say no to corruption to enjoy these benefits. Kill corruption to save Nigeria. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Acting Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, Umar Abba Mohammed, has renewed calls for the establishment of special courts to try corruption cases. He made the call in Abuja while receiving members of the Monitoring Committee of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, SCGA, who paid him a working visit. The acting chairman stressed that the only means of minimizing delay in the trial of cases is to establish special courts to try financial and economic crimes, as delay of cases in court is a major challenge to the commission. Aisha Gambari tells us more on this, but before we take the report, let's take this on a courtesy visit by the National Coordinator Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Dr. Sani Aliyu, in company of National Health Insurance Scheme NHIS, to the EFCC.
The National Coordinator of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Dr. Sani Aliyu, has commended the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC for its impressive compliance with the preventive protocols against the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic. Aliyu gave the commendation while graced in a short ceremony on the donation of personal protective equipment and other equipment in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic by the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, to the EFCC. He said the level of compliance by the EFCC to the COVID-19 protocols is impressive. Aliyu pointed out that the COVID-19 pandemic was not only an health issue, but has become a national security issue, stressing that it is the biggest crisis of the present time. He charged the EFCC to continue to enforce every discipline involved in ensuring the safety of its staff.
Whenever I visit organizations, the first thing I try to look at is the level of compliance with our non-pharmaceutical interventions. And Acting Chairman, I'm very pleased that your staff reflect what an organization like EFCC should be. A disciplined organization where everybody wears a mask. When you walk in, you have your temperature taken, your lifts have restriction in terms of the number of people, etc. Because at the end of the day, Acting Chairman, health is wealth. We cannot function individually if we are not well. If today you have a meeting with Mr. President, there's only one thing that will stop you from going to that meeting, and that is if you wake up and you are not well. No matter how much you want to go, you'll not be able to. So that means it's affecting your function. So if you put that across at a population level, if a large chunk of your population is not well, you will not be able to function as a country, you will not be able to be productive. So to that extent, I'm very pleased and once again congratulate you for the good job you have been doing in supporting the mandate of the PTM to make sure that everyone of us in this country is protected from COVID-19.
Meanwhile, management of the National Health Insurance Scheme, led by its Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, Professor Mohammed Nasser Sambo, donated some items as personal protective equipment to the EFCC. The items include 100 units of infrared thermometers, 500 bottles of hand sanitizers, 125 packs of disposable masks, and 200 units of disposable white protective suits. Sambo disclosed that the donated items were to support the EFCC in coping with the prevention of the COVID-19 scourge. He expressed appreciation to the EFCC for playing a leading role in the success of the NHIS, adding that the Commission has assisted the NHIS in recovering about 4 billion naira from Heritage Bank.
The reason why we are here is to, as I said, heed to the request by supplying the number of items requested in full, about 100 number of infrared thermometers, 500 bottles of hand sanitizers, 125 pack of disposable masks, and 200 disposable white protective suits, which we have also acquired and have been also presented here.
In his response, Acting Chairman of the EFCC, Umar Abba Muhammad, appreciated the NHIS for its gestures. Umar said the gestures will go a long way in assisting the Commission to cope with the preventive protocols of COVID-19. He disclosed that the Commission is coping adequately with the challenges posed by the pandemic through the use of technologies in carrying out its work.
We are very, very much thankful and grateful to you all. The gesture will go a long way in assisting us towards our preventive measures which we have put in place. We in the EFCC, I want to assure you that we are strictly abiding by the COVID-19 protocol and the NCDC guidelines, as you have said earlier. And this is not only in the headquarters, it is also extended to all the zonal formations of the Commission, and this we will continue to do. We are also maximizing the use of technology in the process of our operations, meaning that all our meetings and conferences since the advent of COVID have been virtual. So we are maximizing the use of technology, and we'll continue to do that because we've continued to have a beneficial effect of that. You have said that we should ensure judicious use of these items. This will continue to do, and I want to assure you that we are not going to limit the users of these items only to headquarters. We'll extend it to our 14 zonal formations so that they too will benefit from it. On recoveries, yes, I said we'll continue to ensure that we recover because the Heritage Bank, they are slow actors. Anytime we knock on their door, they bring one or two excuses. We'll continue to breathe over their neck and ensure that they release all that is due to the NHIS. Thank you very much for coming.
The donated items will be distributed across all the EFCC zonal offices in the country. Mohammed appreciated the committee members for their efforts in monitoring the compliance of law enforcement agencies with the ACJA, stating that the EFCC was complying adequately with the Act. The ACJA Monitoring Committee's delegation, which was led by Magistrate Chukwuemeka Nweke, said their brief was to assess the level of compliance of law enforcement agencies with ACJA and to smoothen the progress of synergy between prosecution agencies and the judiciary. Nweke further stated that this committee had the responsibility of preparing and submitting an annual report of criminal justice administration in Nigeria. Series of deliberations were made between the committee members and the management staff of the EFCC. The EFCC acting chair, who spoke extensively about the difficulties of getting remand warrants in the Federal Capital Territory, appealed to the committee members to press for a review of a decision against such warrants. He equally deliberated on leakage of information by court staff and bankers to criminals, saying that such a practice should be checkmated. The committee members were later taken around the Commission's detention facility at its corporate headquarters in Jabi, Abuja, and they expressed satisfaction with the state and sophistication of the facilities.
Corruption is a cankerworm, na cankerworm. I said na cankerworm, na cankerworm. Corruption don't finish our country. Nigeria women rise up and come together, oh yeah.
Every woman come out, but we fight corruption together, oh. Every woman fall out, but we kill corruption together, oh.
Them they thief our money, send them obodo yibo. Children they suffer every day, better school in no day. Nigeria women come, oh, women from every sector, make we fight corruption, we won't kill our country. Them go collect money for light, chop the money, light we no see. Good road and good health we no see. I said na cankerworm, oh, na cankerworm, oh.
Join the EFCC in its crusade to rid Nigeria of corruption. Nigeria, now we all know.
The role of royal fathers, traditional rulers, and all well-meaning Nigerians cannot be overemphasized in the fight against corruption or eradication of societal vices. For this reason, the Commission seeks support from our traditional institutions for inclusiveness in the anti-corruption fight. The Emir of Ilorin and Chairman of the Council of Traditional Rulers in Kwara State, Dr. Ibrahim Sulu Gambari, has reiterated his support for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission's war against corruption. Gambari made the pledge while receiving the delegation of the EFCC, led by the Ilorin Zonal Head, Kazim Usaini, who paid him a courtesy visit in his palace. Again, Aisha Gambari tells us all about the visit.
At the Emir of Ilorin's palace, the traditional ruler Dr. Ibrahim Sulu Gambari assured the EFCC of the Council's traditional rulers' support in Kwara State, stating that he is operating an open-door policy for the Commission and will be there to assist whenever the need arises. He said the impact of the Commission in Kwara State is already being felt positively and urged them to carry out their duties diligently. The head of the Ilorin Zonal Office of the EFCC, Kazim Hosseini, while appreciating the Emir and other traditional rulers in Kwara State for their support in the fight against corruption, also solicited for more support. He said he felt it was necessary for the Commission to pay homage.
Corruption is dishonesty and illegal behavior by people in positions of trust. A public office is a public trust. Do not abuse positions of trust for private gains. Stay away from corruption. Nigeria is a great nation, and it is our responsibility to make the country greater. If you notice any act of corruption, please report to the EFCC via info@efccnigeria.org or call 09 904 4751 or 09 904 4752. You can also call 09 904 4753. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
As the Edo governorship elections draw nearer, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC Benin Zonal Office has advised compliance officers of banks to report suspicious transactions to the Commission. Benin Zonal Head of the EFCC, Mukhtar Bello, stated this during a meeting with compliance officers of various banks in Benin City, Edo State. Here are the details.
Mukhtar Bello, who spoke to the bankers, charged them to be at alert as politicians may want to use banks for illicit transactions before, during and after elections. He noted that bankers have a key role to play in the fight against corruption and economic crimes, but bemoaned the fact that most of the fraud committed by fraudsters are aided by the bankers. He stated that sometimes bankers are culpable because they do not always carry out due diligence and comprehensive know your customer process, which is continuous. He charged the bankers to adhere strictly with banking rules and to shun temptation in the line of duty and to report any transaction that fails the simple rules of integrity. Meanwhile, the newly elected executive members of the Nigerian Bar Association, Benin City branch, also paid a courtesy visit to the Benin zonal office of the EFCC. The newly elected chairman, Pius Oyinwo, who led the team, said the EFCC was a critical and strategic partner to the NBA and the need to familiarize themselves with the commission. Mukhtar Bello, who received the NBA officials, expressed delight that they were in his office to seek collaboration with the commission in the fight against corruption and economic crimes in the country. He assured the officials that the EFCC's doors will always be open and receptive to ideas and information on how to win the fight against corruption.
Well, with the expectations of Nigerians on what celebrities should do to help in eradicating societal vices, especially cybercrime and corruption, the Eagle team had a chit-chat with a popular Nigerian comedian, Atunyota Alleluia Akpobome, better known as Alibaba, who is lending his voice on this menace. Enjoy our little time with him.
Most practitioners of the arts reflect and showcase their major environment, the influences of the major environment. But when you then come to crime and try to justify it by being a creative artist, then you're breaking two rules. The first rule that you're breaking is that you're taking advantage of your creativity, which gives you popularity, to try to make people think that it's okay to commit a crime, which is wrong. The second thing is that the club I play football with, and there's a phrase we say, what is not good is very, very bad. The fact that you are hungry won't make you call Malu, brother. That said, those two points are what you then hinge the argument on. That the fact that you are an entertainer doesn't mean you should get away with crime. For instance, the fact that you're an entertainer doesn't mean you can shoot somebody and then when they ask you, you say because you feel like, or because you were very angry, or he annoyed you. You know, the way it is that what is not wrong is wrong. What is not good is wrong. Yeah. So if, for instance, you then talk about these fraudulent practices in the entertainment industry. Let's look at this. Let's say you're in the entertainment industry. You shoot a movie and you are owing 24 people 10 million naira. You didn't pay them. Then they ask for the money, then you say you don't have. What you have done is that you denied them to earn for their a living for their talent, and it is wrong. If I have a camera that I use for production, you come and take the camera for 7 days and pay for only 1 day, and you used it for those 7 days. When I ask for payment, you say you don't have. The fact that you are an artist doesn't make that act okay. The same way, if you are an artist and you decide to go into somebody's account and take money, there's no way you can justify that you're taking the money because you don't have a job, or you're taking the money from that account because everybody is doing it, or you're taking the money from that account because you want to live large. It's wrong, it's wrong. There's no argument about it. That said, it's also important to note that a lot of people who then justify this, that it's okay, are people who have not tasted the sad part of it. Okay, let me give you an example. There was when this issue of artists who are involved in fraudulent online activities happened. I posted some things, I criticized it, and then there was a backlash. oh, what you leave about, go and sit down because you have chopped and because you have succeeded, you've made it, you are now picking on other people also. And one of the boys who wrote, I think it's a man, not a boy, who wrote about it and made a comment and said, what nonsense, let me go and sit down, what are you talking about? Is it your money that they took or something? He went somewhere, and while he was there, his account was going pam 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 pam, and then he came out and was making calls. This was on a weekend. So which bank are you going to run to when the money is coming out of your account like that? And then by the time he then got to the bank on Monday to report, he had been, I think about from his 500 or something, 250 had left. And he got upset. He went to the bank. He made so much noise. The sister was the one that now sent me a message and said, you know, God works in mysterious ways. Oh. He said, my brother that was talking to you about leaving these people and not minding them also, they just cleared his account. But they didn't clear the account, but they removed a substantial amount of. But when she wrote that they cleared the account. And the guy was to call me back when I was on tour and sent a message to me and said he wants me to unblock him. I said, why? He said he was the one that wrote so and so, and he's been to the bank several times. They've arrested one of the boys, and the boys took the money that weekend and they went to spend. They just went and spent the money. And this was money that he was saving for his some professional exam. You know, that kind of person then gets the full meaning. Take another story of a woman who had worked as a nurse in Lasso, Lutz, for nearly 30 years and retires. She gets all her benefits paid to her. She relocates to Enugu and hears that there's somebody in Enugu who wants to relocate to Canada but had a bakery. And so she's thinking of how she will clear the money from her and buy the place over. So she told the person, when you people come, I will use only the front of the compound. I can leave the bakery. When you people come, you can stay there still. But I will take over the bakery and be paying you money every month. So they agreed. Now, that's the kind of person that has served this country for 30-something years. All her benefits for 30-something years, she wants to use it now to create a bakery. That will create employment. That will provide products. Then help the community. She goes to her account and the money has been wiped out. All her drivers, this one, everybody was arrested, and then they checked and they found out that the boys that moved these things were in a university. So I think the special fraud unit goes after these guys and then they pick them up. They went to buy cars from something somebody suffered for 30 years. You take the money out of the woman's account and go buy cars. The woman has a stroke, and while they are still managing the stroke, she passed on. And so the daughter sent me a message to say these boys killed her mom. I posted it online and people were telling me, oh God, the country is so bad. But you see, because it hasn't happened to anybody. Now, one of the boys has a career in rap. So that's how so you're thinking of becoming a rap artist. Now, when you then produce this music that you've stolen somebody's money to make, if pirates descend on the music, you will then go to the police to report that pirates are stealing your song. What it means is, like I said from the start, what is not good is very, very bad. Whether you are in entertainment, whether you are in the military, whether you are in private sector, banking, insurance, any sector at all, the fact that what you're doing is taking from somebody what does not belong to you, you're converting somebody else's hard work, is stealing. Why are people being arrested for taking pensions? People have worked for 35 years. They are not supposed to retire and then be getting their money, and then somebody dips his hand inside the pension form and then spends it. And all of you are shouting, but you don't see that same thing when you go into somebody's account and take money from it and use somebody's ATM card against the person. So whether you're an entertainer, it's not an excuse. We shouldn't even just look at it like just being entertainers. But the thing is, because it concerns me and it's my sector, it's good to mention it.
We hope you enjoy our package of the Eagle today as we draw the curtains. You too can be part of this program by sending your enquiries and suggestions to the Eagle at EFCCnigeria.org or follow us on all our social media platforms at official EFCC. You can also send your petitions to info@EFCCnigeria.org. My name is Aisha Muhammad. I leave you with this parting words from James Frost, which says, "Integrity is the light that shines from the disciplined conscience." Let's do the right thing always. Goodbye. God bless Nigeria. And please do stay safe.